Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you for joining us on this edition of The Right Stand. We start with news just coming in from Tamil Nadu, where a startling allegation has been made by the BJP in the state. A post by Annamalai, the state BJP president, has now thrown light towards an incident that's occurred where the allegation made is that miscreants have pelted stones and vandalized BJP state vice president Sasikala Pushpa's residence and also at her car. And this has happened in Thoothukudi district, in the Thoothukudi region. Around 5 miscreants who arrived in an auto and bikes vandalized her car and her residence. And a case has been registered by the Thoothukudi police, and the search is on to nab these miscreants. The allegation made by the state BJP is that these are all being sent at the behest of a DMK leader, and this was actually DMK cadre. This is the detail. This is the information that we have. We'll try and go across to Purnima Murli for more details, and Mugilan Chandrasekharan also with us on the phone line. Mugilan, tell us, namaste, tell us what happened.
Today evening, what we are learning from the police is that 5 miscreants who came in an auto and a two-wheeler started pelting stones at the Tamil Nadu BJP deputy state president Sasikala Pushpa's residence, and her car, which was parked outside the residence, also was vandalized. Stones were pelted at the car, is what we are hearing from the local police, and from the visuals also. You can see the kind of damage what the car has sustained, and even the front portion of the residence also was heavily damaged in this vandalizing act, is what we are learning from the police. Now, after the incident came to light, we also saw the BJP cadres gathering in front of Sasikala Pushpa's residence and raising slogans, and they were demanding the arrest of these miscreants, and they have also alleged that this is an handiwork of DMK minister, DMK and the ministers from that particular district, is what the allegations by the Tamil Nadu BJP is. But now the police have started collecting CCTV footages in the area to narrow down and nab these miscreants who have pelted stones at the residence of Sasikala Pushpa. And it is very important to note, very recently there was a war of words broke out between Sasikala Pushpa and Tamil Nadu Minister Geeta Jeevan, and that is why now we are saying Tamil Nadu BJP alleging that this is an handiwork of DMK, and the DMK cadre should be arrested for that.
I have Sasikala Pushpaji with us on the phone line. Mugilan, please stay with me. Purnima Murli also on the phone line. But Sasikalaji, what happened? Namaskaram. Please tell us what happened.
Actually, namaskaram, sir. Actually, our state president, Mr. Annamalai ji, is doing very good work, and is taking up the BJP here to get 40 out of 40 in the upcoming parliament election. That much he is working very hard. It has been developed after his leadership. Now, last week, our state president came to Thoothukudi district, and the local minister, Madam Geeta Jeevan, he allegated about the corruption which is made by her. She is the current social welfare minister, where a lot of corruption is going on in that ministry. He pointed out he is completely quoting the data-oriented corruption of the local DMK government. So it has been forecasted by him.
Right.
After that, the reaction was bad by the local minister in very atrocious way. Like, she used the word, he cannot enter into the border of my district. He is pointing out all the DMK ministers and the corruption as if they have done. He's speaking about, and like that she made too much allegations, and finally she said, if he comes to the stage to Thoothukudi, I will enter into the stage, like that. We will not allow him to enter into the district. Like that, she spoken many and many atrocious words that the ideology of the BJP she challenged.
But that was with Annamalai. What happened with you? And the allegation that's been made is that the people who attacked your house and your car were all her people, were all from the DMK.
After her speech, the reaction has been given. The reply has been given yesterday evening, by BJP, especially by me, in the stage of Christmas Day celebration of BJP. We celebrated the function because we are supporting the minority. So we even celebrated the Christmas by the BJP here in Tamil Nadu by the advice of our president. We have to encourage every minority sector also like that. We done that. By that time, I have spoken about her issues, about in which way she's spoken about the BJP's ideology and all. She challenged that. We given counter. For that today, too many gundas, especially BJP councillors, came to the house when I am not there. I went for the party to Kanyakumari. They came to Thoothukudi, my district, and they spoiled the house, completely damaged the house and my car.
So you are saying DMK councillors came and DMK members came and vandalized your house?
Two of the DMK councillors came and with the gundas and they came into the house.
But the cops have not named anybody in their report. They have just said that they are looking at 5
especially a councillor called Ramakrishnan Ravi came with some of the party cadre by the advice of the local minister, and they are saying, I'm not sure, they are saying that the minister is keeping the two Gundas councillors at her house and challenging to the public that let the police come and arrest in my house. Like Mamata Banerjee, she is behaving here in Tamil Nadu. Like Mamata Banerjee, my president is struggling here in Tamil Nadu under the wrong leadership of Mr. Stalin. Too much atrocity.
Well, Sasikala Pushpaji, you have named a DMK councillor and you have named the local minister or the state minister who also belongs to Thoothukudi as responsible for the vandalism that has happened. We've got the pictures. The cops have said there are 5 unknown miscreants. They're still searching for who they are. But you are openly saying that it's a state DMK councillor, local councillor of the DMK at the behest of the state minister. Geeta Selvan is what you've taken the name. And said that they are the ones who are responsible for this attack. We'd see how the DMK and the minister concerned, whose name you have taken, have to respond on this. I have to move on for the moment. Sasikala Pushpaji, thank you for speaking with us. That's the latest coming in from Tamil Nadu, ladies and gentlemen. Now, all the way from Thoothukudi and South Tamil Nadu to the north of our country, to Jammu and Kashmir. And this is something that we need to take note of. This is the story of Naya Jammu and Kashmir, and this is a slap on the face of all the propagandists who are trying to raise this Kashmir bogey time and again. 280 days and counting, not a single school closed, no stones pelted, and no hartals. That's the change. Let's quickly have a look at the hard numbers and then set up this entire story, ladies and gentlemen, as we bust all the propaganda and the canards that are being spread about what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, as for this tourism, 30,000 new jobs have been created, 100 plus flights daily flying into Jammu and Kashmir, 15,199 passengers per day. That's the traffic that Jammu and Kashmir is seeing as far as the air traffic is concerned. 79 lakh tourists have visited Jammu and Kashmir between October 21 and March 22. This is the data that we have had. So March to September or March to December data, that number has gone far higher is what we are given to understand. Economy, 168 MOUs have been signed, 13,600 crore worth deals have been now signed, actioned, 6,000 acres have been allotted for industries. The story of Naya Jammu and Kashmir, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to education, 7 new medical colleges, 25,000 seats in degree colleges have been opened up. More importantly, not a single educational institution has been shut down due to a Bandh or Hartal over the last 280 days. This is in the post-COVID area time when lockdowns had opened up, and the country had opened up. Infrastructure, world's highest rail bridge over Chenab has been built. Connectivity is being trying to build. Railway lines are built all the way to Srinagar, and Baramulla is now is being connected. Chenab, the return of cinema halls in the valley has come through. 11,721 crore has been invested only on the construction of highways. 4,280 panchayats now have play fields, have got playgrounds. All this has happened ever since the abrogation of 370. But more importantly, the story of Naya Jammu and Kashmir is also in the fact that there has been no band or hartal since the last 280 days. This is the story of law and order. This is the story about normalcy and also allowing people a chance to live their lives. No stone pelting incidents reported. Over 550 terrorists have been neutralized since 2019. The terror infrastructure stands at its lowest at this point in time. And to talk further on this, we are joined live by the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, Dilbag Singh ji. Dilbag Singh ji, namaste. Jai Hind, thank you very, very much for joining us. First up, nobody is talking about this. 280 days with no hartal, no disruption in Jammu and Kashmir. It's a story in itself that the world needs to sit up and take note, especially those naysayers about Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, it's a very big story in itself because we have been in a security scenario where Bandh used to be a normal rather than working days and the people working on all working days as a routine. This is perhaps after a very long time that we haven't had a single bandh and any response to any bandh call being propagated from Pakistan through its Hurriyat chapter sitting in POK. We feel that there's a big change, and in fact, I heard it from the local people from Pulwama yesterday. They said that from Pulwama attack to Pulwama Tiranga rally, and then they said that from bandhs for over half a year in a year, and today not a single bandh in the market, not a single bandh in the schools and colleges. And the people said during my interaction, during my visit yesterday to Pulwama, that they're so happy that their kids going to school without any break, and they're doing their business without any break.
Dilbag Singh ji, pehle calendar chhapta tha bandh ka. That's also now changed. How significant is it for the local people in Jammu and Kashmir?
Yeah, there's no calendar at all. There's no bandh calendar as of now. Despite the fact that Pakistani agencies sitting across tried a lot to give that kind of calendars on certain significant events from their point of view. During Gilani's demise, they did it. Subsequently, on some other occasions, during the killing of very hardcore and high-ranking terrorists, they did it, they tried it, but they could not make it. The traditional days of so-called martyrs' day from their side, that did not also attract any attention from the people. So I say there's hardly any calendar now, and if there is any bandh call, there's not a single response from city or any rural areas in Kashmir and other regions of Jammu now. It's a big change. It's a very big change.
But terror infrastructure is at its lowest. That's what reports suggest ever since the abrogation of 370. But there are still concerns, especially with hybrid terrorism and also the selected targeting of migrant labor and also threatening Kashmiri Pandits.
Yeah, these challenges are there. In fact, only the nature of challenges have changed. Much bigger challenges have been taken care of. If you say that today the terror modules, the hybrid terrorists are a challenge, yes, they are a challenge. But we've been able to bust over 130 modules of terrorists during the current year. That is not a mean achievement. That's a very big achievement. Any terror module coming up gets busted within a days, and an entire module gets busted. So that is an achievement on the part of police and the security forces. Targeted killing, yes, but we have been able to solve all the targeted killings so far, barring one. That is again a very big achievement. Anybody involved in any targeted killing has been brought to law, and strict action under law has been taken against anyone involved in the targeted killing also. There is absolutely no leadership. There's a leadership vacuum in Lashkar-e-Toba. There is no leader for Jaish-e-Mohammed. Hizbul Mujahideen is almost leaderless, cadreless. All the organizations are by and large wiped out. There are very few of them who are remaining, and they are on our fingertips, and they are on our radar. We are following them, chasing them. So now that most of the organization terror outfits have been wiped out, they have started a new trend of carrying out the terrorist activities to terror modules, some of them being handled directly from Pakistan. So they are also being targeted by us in a big way, and we are sure that we'll be able to take care of this new challenge also successfully and effectively.
Well, the sacrifices of the Jammu and Kashmir police and the security forces in Jammu and Kashmir can never be forgotten, but it's also huge commendations because it's their hard work, all of you put together, that this success has been achieved. But let me ask you my final question, Dilbagh Singh ji, what's the target for 2023? Do we see these 280 days becoming 500 days plus?
See, 2023, I think it will be absolutely peaceful year. That is how we look at it. This year has been very, very encouraging. Hardly any big incident anywhere. Very peaceful year, and the lowest level of terror violence has been seen during this year. The largest number of killings over the last so many years of the neutralization of the modules and killing of the terrorists and the rest of the terror sympathizers and terror associates have been affected during the current year. A very big number of terror-related crime cases have been prosecuted successfully, and our action is on that front also. 2023 would be a peaceful year, and we would see a lot of activity, especially on the side of development and people's involvement in the development mission. That is what is expected of us. JK Police and the security forces all prepared for the new year 2023.
Dilbagh Singh ji, thank you very much for making the time and speaking with us. So that's the story, ladies and gentlemen. 280 days and counting. This is the real picture of Naya Jammu and Kashmir. No hartals, no lockdowns, all educational institutions open. Livelihood of the people not affected. Let's take this question, let's take this forward. Have the naysayers been put in place? The propagandists, will they now pipe down? All the canards that are being spread internationally, all that, is this now set to rest? Let's go straight across to Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former GOC 15 Corps, joining us from Chandigarh. We've got Dr. Nirmal Singh, former Deputy Chief Minister, Jammu and Kashmir. Yana Mir, Editor-in-Chief, The Real Kashmir, joins us. Farooq Wani, Editor, Brighter Kashmir, Senior Journalist and Columnist and Political Commentator, also with us. And Farooq Ranzu Shah, Chairman, Jamaat Atiqad Hanafiya International, and also and Kashmir Society is also with us. Namaste to everybody. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to start with General KJS Dhillon. Sir, you were there at the time when 370 was abrogated. What was the situation then? What is the situation now? 280 days of no hartal, no stone pelting, no lockdowns. How significant an achievement is this?
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to all my fellow panelists, and good evening to all your viewers. Yes, this change has not come overnight, and this change has not come because of one particular reason. This change has come because the will of the nation, the will of the Kashmiri people, who are yearning for peace after 3 decades of terrorism and deaths and bloodbath. So this is a net result of when people were asking for peace. And then came these initiatives of abrogation of Article 370 and the development and the infrastructure development and other developments which you listed out in the beginning of the show. Now here I would like to add to what my comrade in peace bringing, Mr. Dilbagh Singh, DGP Jammu and Kashmir Police, we were together as a team when abrogation took place. Here I would like to bring in one thing, that this peace is a end result of efforts of all the security forces, the civil administration, the local population is the main key player here. And for this peace to sustain, the young population, which is almost 2/3 of Jammu and Kashmir's population, below 30 years of age, they have lived through this gun culture. They must taste the fruits of peace. They must understand how livelihood will increase, how their income will increase, how their social life, their personal life will be better when there is no terror. So once they understand and they get the feel of the dividends of peace, that is when the society will say no to the terrorism. And the way Mr. Dilbag Singh was narrating that all but one targeted killing has been identified and neutralized, this is because of the cooperation of the people of Kashmir. Now they want peace. They don't want targeted killing of innocent people. So they are cooperating with the security forces, and that is the result which we are seeing today. So it's the end result of all the people cooperating and coming together. And I'm sure, as you asked for 2023 is going to be even better. And coming back to your question, the portion of it, how it was on 5th of August 2019, I think we all know it. We all have the images of those times and how we changed the situation from what it was to what it is today. And today even people in Pakistan are questioning their establishment, that you have failed miserably on Kashmir front. So this is, I think, hats off to everyone and congratulations to Kashmiri Awam who brought in this change with the assistance of security forces and civil administration and all the stakeholders in Kashmir.
Very well put, very well said there, General Saab, and I'm going to take this forward because the desperation is visible. Now, what you said and what DGP Dilbag Singh said, Nirmal Singh ji, we are also now seeing manifest with these, propagandists and these fronts, puppets putting out lists of people. First it was Kashmiri Pandit employees, now they are putting out BJP cadre who've been freshly induced. Now these are all signs of desperation. How would you react to things like this? Would you look at the 280 days and what's been achieved? Or would you look at these threats still coming through and manifest? Nirmal Singh ji.
Definitely. The figures they are speaking itself. You have seen that this time the tourist season was very good. The hotels were full. The youth they are doing their work. The students, they are going to the schools. The parents, they are very happy. So everything is there. And this is the answer to these people who are desperate, who are trying to revive the old, their old agenda, separatist agenda. But now the Kashmiris, they are not looking, trying to, ready to listen to them. They have become irrelevant. Hurriyat is irrelevant. Even the so-called mainstream parties who are soft separatists, they are irrelevant. But they are trying to find out certain things. There's target killings and other things. But we see that challenges are there. The enemy is changing his strategy. But the government, our security forces, our army, they are doing very well. And ultimately, we are heading towards this Achhe Din. Achhe Din, they are coming to Jammu and Kashmir, and everybody is happy here. But these people, because they are trying to find out the political space for themselves by reviving their old, there's tested, you can say, separatist agenda, which is not going to, you can say, succeed in the forthcoming elections. But definitely, taking liberty of this liberal democratic, you can say, setup here, they are trying to again raise this. But people, they are not going to listen to them. As the General Sahab has rightly said, the Kashmiri people, they want progress, prosperity, they want peace, they want that this development should go on. And they are also cooperating. That's why we are succeeding. The Indian state is still succeeding. The democracy is emerging after there's elections, the Panchayat elections, VDC, DDC elections, and which had happened after 72 years. That's a story in Jammu and Kashmir. That's a story of, you can say, peace.
Right. But Mr. Renjusa, should these threats actually worry the people, or are the things changed? Are these bluffs now being called out? Do you believe that everything has been achieved, or is there a lot of work still yet to be done? Do you believe that there are still people who are embedded in the system who are working against the system? These lists have been generated from inside the system. So is there still a certain level of cleanup that is required before we can say that, things have really returned to normal in Jammu and Kashmir?
Yeah, you are very correct. Very there. What was the modus operandi earlier, and what was the functioning in Kashmir, and how I feel it was not a Jammu Kashmir constitution. It was the preamble of was Ziaul Haq's doctrine of Operation Topak was the preamble of that constitution.
Right.
Because that was to enter and capture. You enter inside and capture and use the corridor of the democracy to enter and make these polling booths the terror booths and get your people of your choice to vote, but enter, be part of the political establishment and rule. And that was because I am witness of so many things. I know there when Charshri was being burned, that is the Sufi shrine, was being burned. The concerned person in whose jurisdiction it was, he was of the rank of the sub-inspector. Rather than reprimanding him, that in your jurisdiction, Masgul has entered and was taken out safely in the fire brigade vehicles, and you should be sacked from the service because it's such a big Rishi shrine has burned. Rather than that, he was given double promotion. So that was the kind of things like erasing of a Nil Nag because it is in the name of Hindu. The radicals said no, Hindu name is not acceptable. Nil Nag is in the Nilmat Puran. Bury it under the mud and the stones. And Government of India money was used to that same corridor of the channel that political rulers were there. I know the one minister in the government. He was coming and like Dabang, he was just rolling his tamancha, the pistol. I don't know whether that pistol was the license or it was from across the border. Using both. He was using the government power as the minister also, and he was using that aura of that pistol to bulldoze the officers around. So when that was the atmosphere in Kashmir, so how could you expect that the majority of the people who were yearning from 1947, 1947, it was not India earlier or Indian army earlier in Kashmir. It was the people's desire to be part of that, to be very clear. But there was the political establishment, they say no, we don't want that part of Kashmir. Leave it, because it is not going to vote for us. So because of their vote convenience, Kashmir was divided. So it continued. It continued. Now today, I really appreciate Dilbag Singh's point and very correctly said, and even you were the figures. There is a development is going on. Democracy is grassroots. Democracy is working. These panchas and panchayats are working. Democracy is also existing. At the same time, development is going on with full pace. They were telling, don't give access to the railway. They were sabotaging the government. Local government ministers were telling that if we will connect with the railway, we will connect with the India. So that was their mindset.
No, but imagine these railway lines, if they come in, the goods train come in, imagine the amount that will of horticulture produce that will be saved. Even apples and the growers from fruits to flowers. There is a huge amount that will perhaps which will not perish and which will not be subjugated to landslides and roadblocks, etc. When they want to sell their produce across. I have limited time, Renzu Shahji, so I'm going to quickly look at some of the challenges as I bring in Farooq Wani and Yana Mir, and hopefully we'll get a quick comment in, closing comment with General Dhillon. Now, some of the challenges that come out. One is what? You have to weed out the overground workers who are still operating within the system. Now, this is one big challenge that remains. Then, of course, there is hybrid terrorists, killing of the migrant workers and targeting them. Narco-terror, which is again rearing its ugly face, and it's a reality in Jammu and Kashmir. And of course, constant threats which are being made to Kashmiri Pandits or those people who are coming back, not just Kashmiri Pandits, but those who are wanting to resettle back in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the valley. So, Farooq Wani, how would you see this? Do you believe that this is a big achievement and it will perhaps set the narrative right? And where all do you think the challenges are?
Good evening, all panelists, especially Dhillon Saab. he's becoming more and more popular after the retirement, especially he's dominating the social media. So as you said, there's a lot of challenges here on the ground in Kashmir. The big challenge, I should say, is narco-terrorism. Narco-terrorism is ruining our youth, and so I was just my concern regarding this is we are losing the generations. Once it is not stopped, so drugs are being used immensely is going on the ground, so that this youth of the Kashmir, especially boys or youngsters who are indulging in these activities, so government must take stringent steps to stop this. Otherwise, days no longer when the entire Kashmir generations will be ruined. Now, if you earlier, as you said that. Organ workers are here in Kashmir. That is that is there, but government is doing their best, and especially the police is doing their job, and police, and every day is some. Today even I was just today I just read five Hizbul Mujahideen and some else have been arrested. So government should come forward with the stringent laws regarding this. So my concern is that. Right. So I'm just telling you once and again. Government should come forward and with the stringent laws, right, so that this drug menace will once for all should be stopped. If we'll go in the history, as the Punjab.
So you're saying narco terror remains the biggest challenge, and we talked about this, Yanamir, last evening as a rising concern. Now, how would you see 280 days? What big socio-economic effect would it have on the people in Jammu and Kashmir? Will it go a long way?
Anand, I've been just looking at your, your list of challenges, and I was just thinking over them. And what I conclude is that all of them can be tackled, and there is solution to all of them. For example, when you talk about beating out OGW, the problem here is that we always blame the police. They do their duty. They arrest whoever needs to be arrested, whether it's the police, whether it's the intelligence agencies. Who is at fault here? Is the local lawyers who are actually running their livelihood by bailing out these OGWs in an easy manner. Become like it's a thriving business here. What do you do for a living? I'm a lawyer. I bail out OGWs. As easy as that, and then they go back to doing what they were doing. And then when you talk about narco terror, let me tell you that yes, the majority of our policemen are doing a great job in nabbing narco terror in their respective districts.
Right.
But then again, you can rule out the fact, and it is a fact, that there are dishonest policemen too, because I've heard of complaints where people have called me up and said that we've always complained about this particular person, but he roams free and he's a drug peddler. And he's been peddling all kinds of drugs. Correct.
So you're saying that we've got to weed out the corrupt within, and also those who are working to break the system within.
No, what I'm saying is you can never weed out the dishonest ones. What I'm saying is that we need to reach the youth before drugs reach them. Probably drugs awareness events and webinars or whatever.
Fair point made. Some miles covered, but many more miles to go, and many more promises or many more challenges to cover together. And we've got to do it together as a people, as a nation. I have run out of time, regretfully. So, General Dhillon, I wouldn't be able to come back to you for a comment, but I thank you. Thank you for providing perspective and also joining us on something which is important and which Bharat needed to take note of what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir and what the true story is. Hope you've got the real picture. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we are in exclusive conversation with a man who's turned around and said that we need to be careful. We need to be careful about those entities which are trying to judge Bharat. We should understand what their own background is. Professor Salvatore Babonis on the other side.